Well, important game for us, our last conference game on the road, and we need to try to bounce back from our disappointment of Sunday and losing that game. And we looked on the, reviewed the video of that game, and there's some areas where we can improve and do better. And Ole Miss, I know, will be motivated. It's their last home game, so that's always a night where people are really motivated to do well last night in their gym. So we will have a big test ahead of us and need to play well, and I know the team is wanting to bounce back and get a victory tomorrow night.
I had talked about the team already looking at SEC scenarios and said right now it's out of our hands. We just need to go ahead and win games. Is that the message you're giving to them?
Yeah, you know, as we told them what situation that we were in virtually all season here coming down the stretch, and so they knew what the scenario was Sunday, and you know, I think they were really disappointed at the end of the game to lose, and so we just told them it's really, really important now to any faint hopes that we have still come back to us winning. So it's not anything that we can really obsess over or put a whole lot of energy into. We need to put energy into trying to beat Ole Miss.
Why did you lose on Sunday?
Well, we just we had a first half that was just uncharacteristic for us defensively, and I think LSU scored a lot of buckets at the end of the shot clock that sort of deflated us, and we just did not play in the first half with a championship type effort. It was just an okay effort, and LSU made us pay for that, made some shots that maybe they don't normally make, but in that game you have to respond. Every game's different. You can't always just play percentages. You can do that with a game plan, but once the game gets going, you have to respond and make some adjustments, and we just didn't play a good half of basketball, and it cost us.
Is that a good teaching tool to have at this end of the season, to say you can't have a let-up, you can't have a 4-minute segment that isn't your best?
I think it's really important when you have a disappointment in your life, or you have a challenge or a failure, to try to do everything you can to learn from it. I think you're exactly right. We definitely were able to go back and review the film, and you can see that we just didn't respond the way that we wanted to. And a lot of times, the players are out there in the game, and maybe they don't feel it or they don't understand it. And then you go back and you show the film, and they're just like, gosh, I can't believe that's what happened. But all of us make mistakes and have struggles, and the real key is can we see that, which it was a very disappointing loss, but the fortunate thing is time to learn from it. It's not the last game of the season, and it's not the final game we're going to play, so I think it's a great opportunity to learn. Good wake-up call for us.
Matthew, when you look back on it, how will you define Adi as important being here these 4 years at this particular time in the school's history?
Well, you just went from pretty simply put, you went from a situation that, year in, year out, you didn't have a lot of hope of being very good. And now there's hope here that you can be really good. And that would be how I would sum it up. It's a very, very different deal she's walking out of than she walked into. She's a big part of that.
At some point over the last year, you said that you could almost like plant a stake in the ground the time when Adia showed up here. I mean, is that the marker for you? Is she the marker for when you spun this into something?
Yeah, that and at the same time, Victoria really emerged as the player of the year in the league, and so the flag is placed in the ground at the moment that Adia stepped on campus, and she's not the sole reason, but that's the moment. That is absolutely the moment that it changed into something very, very different than what it was. So, she has proven it in the record books. She has proven it in the win column. She's proven it with, championship performance. I mean, she is the best player that's played here in a generation or two. And, you go back to Valerie Steele, to a player that had that kind of impact. So she is remarkable.
She said that one of the reasons she opted not to go to Louisville is she didn't want to follow Angel McCoughtry. She kind of wanted to be an Angel McCoughtry for her program. Do you think she's close to that level for what she's done here?
I would say so. I would think that it's very similar results. I think Angel really elevated that program, and Adi has definitely helped elevate this program. So I would think that she would have to feel great about that comparison, and if that's what she wanted to do, she clearly changed the program and certainly became what the program was identified with as a singular player. So I think she probably did what she wanted to do.
They talked a lot about their recruiting and how different it was when you recruited them from a coach's standpoint. How has recruiting changed from when you recruited them to now all the McDonald's All-Americans and people know Kentucky and want to come to Kentucky and see the success you guys have had? How has it changed from your perspective?
From when I was recruiting them to who I'm recruiting now? Well, it's changed a lot, and those, the biggest thing that changes recruiting in my mind is winning. And so that's why you're so grateful for a couple of kids like Brittany and Adia who have the desire to come to a place based on substance and not on the surface. It's just real easy to look at records and say, oh, I'm going to go here and automatically win, and it just doesn't happen that way. And it's easy to go somewhere that hasn't and say, hey, it's not possible. So for two kids to listen to what we had to say and believe in something that just was a dream at the time is really something I'm grateful for. And now we still try to be about substance, but it's a little bit easier to catch people's eye because the surface is a little bit better. So, no matter what it ends up being that attracts a player here, there's no denying the fact that when you're having success, it's easier to get inside someone's head that this is a place where we can be successful. So that's the biggest difference now. It looks a lot better for a player coming in than it did when those two kids came in.
Everybody looks at an Adia and sees there are tangible things that she's done to change her program, but then you think of a kid like Brittany. What are the things that she kind of does behind the scenes to elevate the program in a different way?
Well, the thing that probably stands out to me more than any with Brittany is Brittany came here as a very low-ranked player in recruiting rankings. I think she was, inside the top 200, like 167 or something. And a lot of kids above her had better stats and things coming out of high school, but she came here unheralded and early on started developing and started working and started showing that if you came to Kentucky, the coaches were going to work with you and help you develop in all areas of your life. And that was real powerful because I think a lot of coaches around the country, high school and club coaches, I think Brittany was a very powerful force in us turning things around, not only what she did, but what she was able to become. And that helped us build some confidence and some credibility with different people around. So as far as the recruiting goes, that part of it really helped us. On the inside, she has just always been someone that was willing to work really hard to do what was necessary to help us win. And she's had some huge moments in her career. And then this year, where her minutes have gone down, it's just been incredible to see her attitude and the way she's approached practice and the way she's approached her standing in the program and how it's impacted her life and how she's trying to pass that on to the younger players. It's really a beautiful thing to see, because Brittany Henderson and I really had some tough times here and butted heads a lot of times, and it was not a smooth 4 years just between the two of us. And now to see her as a player who's really saying the things that I think the program should stand for, and she believes in those things, is really, really gratifying to see her development as a person as well. So really proud to have coached Brittany Henderson, and she's got a lot left to give here down the stretch, and I know she wants to finish it out real special.
One of your assistants last year kind of called her the mother hen of the group. Like if you need to gather up everybody quickly, you can text Brittany and she'll make it happen. Is she one of those kids too?
Yeah. She has a real special connection with her teammates. I think they respect her, and she's been a very giving person and very thoughtful of people, and so she's been terrific, and really, really proud of her career and what she's accomplished.
Are you aware that the team refers to her as Grandma Betty?
I am.
Why do you think that is, or do you know her?
Well, she's older than everybody, and then she moves a little slow during stretching, so that may have something to do with it.
Audia said that on senior day, if you cry, it might be tears of joy because you've got some good players coming in and you don't have to see them in practice anymore. Are you going to get emotional?
Yeah, Audie is real funny. She has a great career as a comedian ahead of her. Listen, I'm sure, be emotional, and senior day is always tough because you have it before the game, and then you're trying to make sure that you honor them properly, and then get ready to play the game. But it will be a very bittersweet moment, because you recognize what they've done for us, and it'll be tough, but you're happy for them that you're hopeful as a coach that they got everything out of the experience that we told them they would have available to them, and so I think those two have definitely benefited from being at Kentucky, and we have certainly benefited from those two being here. So you're glad when it's that kind of situation, but I'm not looking forward to those two leaving.
Have you heard that Audia does impressions of you, and have you ever seen one?
Well, I've heard, but I haven't seen one. I haven't seen that. Hopefully one of these days I'll be able to see it.
She said they set off.
They know I'm a little crazy, and I may go off at any point in time, so they don't need to do that stuff around me, probably.
She said they set off fireworks at your house for your birthday. Is that the craziest thing they've done to you?
No, they've done far crazier things in practice to me. I've literally almost expired 10, 12 times during their career, and both of them were directly involved in the incident. So things that they've done to try to, and I've accused Brittany Henderson of trying to kill me before. She's literally tried to make me have a heart attack and kill me before. So she denies that, but I'm telling you it's true. So Brittany, it's a good one on Brittany. Brittany evidently has, I don't know if it's inadvertent, or is there such a word as unintentional? It's not intentional, I don't think, but she has this, when I would be addressing her, it would look like she's rolling her eyes at me. And she just swears that it was not rolling her eyes, and it was just an inadvertent rolling of the eyes, and that went on for about 3 years, and that caused a lot of pain in our relationship. So now we laugh about it now, and she says she still doesn't think she was doing that, but it's funny that it doesn't happen anymore. So I guess maybe she got it corrected, but we spent about 3 years at each other's throat because I would think she was rolling her eyes at everything that I said, and she said that she wasn't. So it's been fun.
Coach, when you look back at Audia, I mean, when you're recruiting a team, you try to find, the right pieces, whatever. But I mean, could you have foreseen her being the kind of impact player back then that she is now? I mean, did you know that from the start?
I just can't ever take credit for seeing that clearly in the future. I mean, the thing you have to realize, you have to go back and really put this in proper perspective. We were just trying to get competitive at the time, And I can remember watching Adia play an AAU game one night in Atlanta. And it was this kind of showcase deal, and they kind of got all these kids together, and nobody had ever played together. And so it was really, you get the ball, and you had to make some things happen because they had been together for 5 minutes, and they just kind of put 5 players out on the court. And I watched her play one night, and it was just one of the most spectacular performances I'd ever seen in a summer league game. I mean, she was just unbelievable. And so that night, you're looking at her, and I'd watched her play a bunch in high school, but that night it was a little bit different. You're like, whoa, I knew the kid was good, but this kid's incredible. You didn't see that a whole lot in high school where she would just be the way she was that night. So at the time when we had a chance to get her, I was just saying, we just don't have access to this kind of talent right now where we are. So that's what made it so important for us to get her here. And then I hoped we could develop her a little bit and help her out, because when you would go watch her in high school, there would be games where she would just kind of stand in the corner and score 9 points, and you were thinking, I'm not sure what's going to happen when she gets to college. So I didn't know. I knew she was talented. I did not know she was going to leave here leading us to the, tournament all 4 years, win an SEC championship, second leading scorer, on and on and on. I didn't know that. But I did know the first day she ever practiced, I knew she was better than I thought she was. She made an immediate impact on us. But when she was coming in, I was just thrilled we'd gotten that talented of a player, and I was just hopeful that she might speak to me during the 4 years that she was here, because we didn't speak too much in the recruiting process.
You said earlier she's a once-in-a-generation type player. Is that true?
She's the best we've had here.
Right.
We're hopeful that we're hopeful that we have someone similar to her in the next generation, or somebody else will be talking about the next player that comes through. But we are, I think that she's made it possible now for kids to dream here and come here and be, an All-American and SEC Player of the Year and all that kind of stuff. And there weren't a lot of thoughts of that before she got here.
Back to what you were saying a second ago. Have you figured her out?
No. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I've tried real hard, Jen, but I haven't. No, I have figured this out about her. She's the most intelligent basketball player I've ever been around. She's tremendously gifted. Her quiet exterior prevents people from knowing how much she cares about people and what a great person she is. And she has done more for me and my family than just about anybody in my professional life. And so I am just really, really grateful to her for what she's done. But I would not tell you I figured her out yet. I'll keep trying.
I saw in some interview you did that you guys were actually talking about naming your next kid with her name in
Yeah.
it somewhere. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. That's true. That's something that's, I think Jenna's all for it, and I'm all for it. So it'll be in there somewhere. Unless she starts playing real bad and we get beat here the next few games and really upsets me, and then we'll move on to somebody else.
She talked about,
That was a joke. Make sure that's in the notes there, or whatever we got.
I can't remember how many games she said it is, but it's clear that she counted up how many games. She said we need to start winning again now. And she had gotten all the way to the national title game in her head. Is that the way you want them to start thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Postseason is here, and this.
Yeah. It's 11 games, and we want to play in all 11 of them. I want to coach Adia and Brittany as long as I possibly can, and 11 games is what we could play. And if it's not 11, I hope it's 10, and on and on. I mean, I hope we play as many as we can play, I would like for them. I want them to recognize what a talented group we have, and what we can do if we can just bring it together here at the end.
it after a
Mhm.
player? What is it about her that makes her that special that you would, kind of bring her into your family almost?
Well, I don't know what people will think of this, but I'm really grateful to have this job. I don't take this job for granted. It's a great job. It's the place that I want to be coaching. I don't want to coach anywhere else. And, the reason that you get to stay is because you win, plain and simple. And Victoria, who we named Sailor after, made a huge impact on my life and Jenna's life to have a job here at Kentucky, and I just want to honor that. And Adia has made some huge plays that have just directly resulted in us winning games, and I want to honor that. We're here, and we're able to stay here because of the players, and those aren't the only two players, but it's just our way of trying to make sure that that connection exists, that it's the players is the reason that we are able to stay here and coach. So that is why we choose to do things like that. And I think Mathis has a good ring to it.